Hi everyone. So today I just wanted to hop on here and talk about some financial things. As someone who doesn't really want to invest in the stock market and things like that. It's not affiliated, not anything like that. This is genuine things that have worked for me. I get nothing from this video. It's just me trying to help other people. We use Saven Financial for their high interest savings accounts, and they also have really good tax-free savings account GICs, which I really like. When we first had Beckett, I wanted to start putting money away for him for whatever his goal is. My goal for him is to be successful, so if that means he wants to go to college, that's fine. If he wants to use the money to start a business, that's fine too. And so when we first started saving for his future, we really didn't have a lot to be able to save. And so one of the commitments we made is if anyone gifts them money, we do match that and put it in a savings account. There are many times where we could have used this money to get out of debt, all this other stuff. And that's really the biggest hurdle when you're saving, is hard to not use that money when you need it. So this is why I like this investing strategy. It's because when it's locked in a GIC, which is a guaranteed investment certificate, you cannot physically pull that money out. And like I said, there was many times where we could have used that. Now I'm glad we didn't, because it has helped build our savings for them, but there was many times where we could have used that money. So I like that because it makes you not use the money. On the flip side of that, make sure that you can actually put that money away and not touch it for the entirety of your GIC term. So they have GIC options for different amount of years. I like the TFSA because anything you earn in interest, the government doesn't get a piece of it. Okay, so the regular GICs, they will tax the investment money, like the interest you make on that, they will tax that. So the TFSA is really helpful because, again, anything you earn on those GICs, the government doesn't tax you on. They have a TFSA for 5 years at 3.8%. And I know what you're thinking. So I think this is where people get really disconnected with it. Okay, but 3% is nothing. I'd rather use that money now, and in 5 years that 3% is worth nothing. So I think what people forget is this is a compounding thing. So even though the TFSA says 3.8%, the total return on your investment after the 5 years is 20%. Okay, and so they actually have a very helpful calculator online, where you can see how much your savings will grow with the different TFSA GICs. And so on a $5,000 investment, at the end of that 5 years, you would get $1,000 back. And if you put 10,000 in, 5 years later, you'd have 2,000 that you made in those 5 years. And so you can see how, like I said, it says 3.8, and that sounds like not a lot, but because you're reinvesting the interest, 20% return on a 5-year investment is actually pretty good. If we think about, even if you bought a house, so a house is always going to be a really good investment. On average, it's about a 6% yearly appreciation for the Canadian housing market. Again, that's an average. It's totally depending on the economy and how the market's doing. So even though that's the average, there are some years that you won't get a 6% return on your investment. So, but over a 5-year, that would be about 30%. And obviously, a house is a much bigger investment than this savings account, but this is just to give you an idea that, okay, 20% is actually not a bad return. It's actually a pretty decent return for a 5-year investment. Again, the other thing that I like about this is the safety of it. You're not relying on any company to do well in the stock market. And I'm not saying that that can't be a good option. I just think that this is a bit more of a safer, more digestible thing to start with, because it's guaranteed. Like they guarantee your interest at the end of it. Yes, you can't touch your money for 5 years, but again, I think that's beneficial for people like me because for a long time, if I tried to save money, if something happened, like, oh my God, like we need an $800 repair on our car or something like that, then I would dip into that. Whereas we were forced to, put it on a visa and then somehow make up the money. I mean, like we've been working really hard to also grow our income, which I know that sounds like, oh, well, yeah, of course, if you just make more income, then of course you can save more. Yes, but you'd be surprised how many people don't think about that and don't think, okay, I'm not making enough money. How can I make more money? Is there positions at work I can apply to? A lot of people are very happy in their comfort zone and don't step outside of that. So we've grown our income because we have taken those risks. For me, I've been taking lots of exams, lots of courses so that I can be promoted at work. And Alex, same thing, like he's worked very hard to increase his income. We do not have degrees. We have advanced diplomas, and so there are limits to where we can go, right? And it's just about like what is the career path that we can make the most money in with what we have. And so that's what we've done. And then the other part of it is lots of sacrifice. Like I said, there's been lots of times where we could definitely use the savings, but we've opted not to. To put it into perspective, the savings accounts that you'll get at the big six are like 0.01% on your savings, which is literally nothing. Because that's like annually, that's how much you'll make on it. And so banks are not trying to help you save your money and grow your money that way. So this is a branch off of, I think, First Ontario Credit Union. And so it's a reputable company. It's all online and it's very easy to deposit from your whatever bank you actually use on a daily basis to this online account. You can link your bank account to Saven, and we just do automatic withdrawals on a weekly basis. 200 a week, automatically withdrawn. So it's like we don't even ever see it in our account to use it. It's just gone. So yeah, we don't, like when it's automated like that, you can, whatever amount that you can sacrifice every week, even if you're just starting at like $5, $10 a week, and you can automate it so that you're growing your savings. We struggled to even put like 1,500. It was like 1,430 or something that we put in for our first GIC, because that was literally all money that people gifted to us for Beckett, whether it was for the baby shower or his birthday or Christmas gifts. We took all that money and it was all the money we had at the time and put it into that account to grow it. And now, we have grown it to, we're almost at 20K in savings. And so there's also a lot of compound interest calculators online to show you, how much money you have to put away a week to grow your savings. For us, we are putting $200 a week away now. And to put it into perspective, I think we were putting away $150 a month at one point. So now that we have the extra income, we're also not spending it like we're rich people. We are saving more and more and like doing it that way. The beginning was very hard to just even keep 1,400 in there. But now almost 5 years later, maybe I think it's only 4 years later, we've gotten to the point where we are consistently contributing to it. And the more consistently you're contributing to it, the faster it's growing because that interest compounds. So I would say that getting to that first 10K was a struggle. I think that took us about 3.5 years just to get to that first 10K. And then the last year and a half, we've doubled it. So yeah. Okay, that's all I got for you today. I hope that's helpful for somebody, especially anyone who's like me and I don't want to take a risk with my money. Not yet anyways. Maybe in the future I will want to go into stocks and anything like that in different investment portfolios, but I really like that this is guaranteed income, guaranteed money back on my investment. And then like I said, 20% on a 5-year investment is actually pretty good returns. Okay. All right, that's it for today. Bye.